Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. This is your boy, the one and only. We're going to go through the charts. We're going to go through everything, the news, and pretty much everything you kind of need. We're going to go through some alpha as well. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to like it. Stay to the end, kick back, relax, and let's begin. This is the Wall Street cheat sheet. And I know some of you heard of it. Some of you are very, very new. Some of you are first cyclers. Some of you are back to reap the rewards of altcoin season. Yes, it's around the corner. It's happening in Q4. Now I'm going to help you out along your journey, and this is it. This is the cheat sheet. This is the Bitcoin price in 2017, ladies and gentlemen. We had a disbelief rally, then we had a hope rally. A recovery is possible. This is what a lot of folks were saying. Then we have optimism. This rally is real. Then we have belief. Time to fully invest. And then we have thrill. I will buy some more on margin. I'm going to add even more leverage. Got to tell all my folks to buy. And then finally, we have euphoria. I am rich. We're all going to be rich. Yeah, I know some of us have been there. Some of us, unfortunately, have round tripped. We've all been there. I'm guilty. We've all been there. Now, to make it easier for you, I'll give you a real life example. This is right. Yeah, I've been speaking about it for quite some time. And the price went up. So we had a disbelief rally over here. We had a disbelief rally. Then we had hope. Then we had optimism. Then we had euphoria. Now, I clearly said that we're going to dump. I said that this is buy the rumor, sell the news event. At the moment, we are seeing a correction. I think we'll have a larger correction, probably head to 14 cents, maybe to 12 cents. Now, the rule of thumb is this. You buy the rumor and you sell the news. The rumor was that Rye is going to release AI agents on their protocol. So we kept on buying. And now they've released their first AI agent. So the rule of thumb is you buy the rumor, sell the news. Participants are selling. They're taking profits. We're taking profits on this. We held this for a while, guys. We held this during the tariff scare. We held this during all the scares. Now, I don't want to pick on anyone. But I have to, because you can use this for your own coins. Any of your coins, your shit coins, whatever. These are good indicators, like extremely powerful indicators. I can't emphasize this enough. Now, we have Rye, and I put this up here on Twitter, and it got a lot of views, okay? Rye was doing extremely well against a lot of its pairs. It was doing extremely well against all of its pairs, against Bitcoin, Virtual, Cookie, everything. And I posted this, and then one guy said, Rye is going to retire our bloodline. The fear in my heart. I was like, no, this is a top signal. I'm not picking on anyone, but I have to be honest. This was on the 3rd. This was literally on the 3rd of August 2025 at 4:30 p.m. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the 4th of August on the daily. Matter of fact, I haven't done this. Let's see even the time span. If it's 4:30. Oh my God. 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 We're going to go through the news. Sorry, forgive me for the bright white light. XRP and other altcoins are surging under Trump, the potential winners and losers. Bitcoin has finally broken into mainstream media after years as the noisy rebel of the financial system. For years, the world of cryptocurrency was financial Wild West. Okay, now we're getting more regulation. Lawmakers are actively engaging in shaping rules to govern crypto, classifying them as either commodities or securities. Finally, we're getting this place cleaned up. This is excellent news, because I'll be honest, 80% of some of these are unfortunately scams. So make sure you subscribe to our channel so we can help you out, guys. Smash a like as well. We're going to get more and more clarity, especially because of the Clarity Act. And it could be a key to finally giving the industry the rules and predictability it has craved for so long. Whereas stable coins are governed by both joint oversight by the SEC and the CFTC. Speaking of stablecoins, because we're in a super cycle, a stablecoin super cycle, Donald Trump backs World Liberty stablecoin, and it's going to be added to Coinbase. It's a new stablecoin called the USD1. We've spoken about stablecoins many times, and it's the future. It's clearly the future. The long-term plan, make sure you keep this between us two, yeah? Make sure you keep this between us two, and make sure you hold enough stablecoins, because it's going to be backed by Bitcoin. It's going to be pegged by Bitcoin. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the future, and that's where we're heading. We also have MetaMask, and they're going to roll out a stablecoin. It's called MUSD dollar. It's going to be launched in the fall of 2025. MetaMask said on Thursday that the stablecoin will be issued by Bridge, an insurance and orchestration platform for stablecoins that was required by the platform Stripe. Ever heard of Stripe? This is big money, ladies and gentlemen. This is really mainstream now. And most importantly, what is the payment rails? What is the infrastructure? Ethereum. All right, so there you have it. Ethereum is heading to, in my honest opinion, Ethereum is heading to 80K. I've spoken to Tom Lee himself. We're both in agreement, ladies and gentlemen, and Ethereum's heading to 80K. How crypto top lobbyists convinced lawmakers and President Trump to embrace the blockchain industry. So big up to this lady here. She convinced a lot of players to adopt blockchain technology. Her name is Christine Smith. She's doing her part, just like me and you and some of the natives. We're doing our part. We're doing our part to tell folks how powerful crypto really is. She was really putting in work. In 2018, Smith helped create the Blockchain Association. I remember hearing about this as well. And she convinced a lot of politicians, even back then, about Bitcoin. Over a roller coaster of 7 years, she helped top industry firms convince lawmakers about the importance of technology. Even as the collapse of companies like FTX, she continued to tell folks how amazing Bitcoin and Ethereum really are. Some bullish news on AI. We have an article from Carver, the great AI decentralization. Firstly, get rid of decentralization, guys. Let's cut the crap, please, guys. None of this is decentralized, but it is what it is. It's just for marketing purposes. How America crypto projects are breaking big tech AI monopolies. All right. So we have the likes of, we've discussed this before. We have the likes of Tau. It's an open, decentralized machine learning marketplace. We have the likes of Carver AI. We also have the likes of Render and a few of them, like Rai as well, the one I mentioned in the beginning of the part of the show. Then we have Ocean, and a few other big AI projects that I think can do well during this bull run. Hyperliquid is going from strength to strength. And I think personally, the reason for this is because of meme coins. The degens have finally given up with losing money. They're like, all right, cool, enough. I'm losing money in the casino. I need to join another casino. And I think Perps is going to help my broadcasts make money, make lots of money. So a lot of folks, unfortunately, are brokies. And the first thing they do is they join the meme coin casino. They're brokies. They got $5 to their name. They haven't got a pot to piss in. And they join the meme coin casino over there. I get it. We've all been there. You know, you want to turn a penny into a pound. You want to flip it, la. But if you have real money, big money, you have a family, kids, responsibilities, my honest opinion, you only need 2 coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum. If you want to get into more riskier plays, then go for the top 100. It's just going from strength to strength. 80% of DeFi Perps is on Hyperliquid. They have 2.2 billion in TVL. Hyperliquid has grown to capture more than 80% of decentralized Perps, with daily trading volumes now topping 30 billion US dollars. Degens had enough. All right, they really had enough of getting scammed. Kanye West was even scamming them during the Libra scandal. So ladies and gentlemen, they're all getting exposed. I can't believe Ye was involved. Kanye. And finally, for the news, just to wrap it up, there's an article that says Solana gets respectable and sets its sights on Wall Street. This is a normal adoption, okay? They normally test it out on some of the brokies, and then they finally, once they got proof of work, they really push this out to Wall Street. So Wall Street can get involved and start speculating and stuff like that. Yep. So that's the normal kind of evolution for Solana, in my opinion. I think they're pretty much done with meme coins because it's a net negative. It really is a net negative, unfortunately. And you can see on the charts, I've spoken about Solana so many times, guys. It's heading lower. It's down against its Ethereum pair. Its USD pair is up. But if you really look underneath the hood, come on, guys. Bitcoin is currently at 112,000 US dollars, and we're slightly down by 1.23%. This is a quick question, guys. Where are we on the cheat sheet? Where? Comment below. We did anticipate that Bitcoin will head down lower. We did say it's probably heading to 100,000 US dollars in our previous show. It's gonna hit the SMAs. I showed you here. It's gonna hit the SMAs. Now, I do have something to say, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to get rid of all of this and I'm going to show you on the weekly. Do not be alarmed. Coin normally has around 20 to 30% retracement. So we had one right over here, lasted for 6 months. We had this retracement over here, went down from here to here, 33%, another retracement of around 31%. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it hit the far end of the SMA, ladies and gentlemen, and we bounced. We went down roughly 12.45%. We could head downwards as a worst case scenario of around 12.59%, which will get us to 108,000 US dollars. And then we bounce. My target still stands. You know what that is. You know what that is. Let's speak about Ethereum now. Ethereum is a unique one. It's very, very special because we are very, very close to our previous all-time high. Now, we're just roughly from here to here, we're roughly like 10% away. There are only 2 coins in the large cap that have broken past its previous all-time high. The first one was XRP, and the second one happened yesterday, BNB. Okay, BNB, Binance Coin, made an all-time new high. This is about to break out. This is on a larger time frame. Now, on the weekly, we are down, and the SMAs are right over here. Now, if we have a bad month for September, we could possibly head down to around 30% and hit the far end of the SMAs, which is around 3,300 and some change. This is a great opportunity to buy the dip. Now, if you folks missed all of this, I advise you, not financial advice, don't miss this, because ladies and gentlemen, this is heading much higher. My target is 10,000 US dollars, and then in the future, like Tom Lee have already discussed, is heading to 80,000 US dollars. Me and my boy, we're like this. Tom Lee, come on, we're like this, boys. Yeah, it's heading to 80,000 US dollars in the long run, in the next 5 to 10 years. This is the daily on the lower time frame, and we've gone down by 15%. This could mark a regional bottom. I think we're heading to the fib line, the 0.61 fib line. If that doesn't hold, we're heading to the next retracement, which was at 3,500, a deeper retracement. But ultimately, in my experience, the floor price is going to be 4,000 US dollars. If you can snatch 4,000 US dollars on Ethereum, consider yourself very, very lucky. Solana is moving sideways. It's underperforming Ethereum. It's underperforming Bitcoin. Matter of fact, it's underperforming everything. I've showed you numerous times, guys. I know I say this because a lot of key opinion leaders lied to you. Unfortunately, they lied to you. Okay. Unfortunately, it happens. Okay. You were exit liquidity. It happens, ladies and gentlemen. We've all been here, okay? Everyone was extremely bullish over here. They were right here. I'm a genius. Euphoria. We're all going to be rich. We were there. We were all there. Trump launched the meme coin. How bullish can that be? And ever since it's underperformed Ethereum, it's gonna probably have a retracement at this area right over here. But ultimately, we're heading to this area, to the 0.38, and that's in the long run. Let's compare Solana with Bitcoin, and no surprise here. The good news is we broke the SMAs, but this looks exactly picture perfect as Ethereum and coin pair. Doesn't that look scary, ladies and gentlemen? Doesn't that look scary, ladies and gentlemen? It looks picture perfect. Matter of fact, Ethereum also done the same thing. It broke past the SMAs, okay? People got very bullish. and then she just rolled all the way down to here to 0.11. Okay, now I want to speak, since we're on the Ethereum and Bitcoin pair, where would Ethereum end up? That's a very, very good question. Ultimately, I think we're heading to 0.28, and hopefully we can get to the merge period, probably to 0.34. I'm going to show you something, and I know a lot of Ethereum maxis, they're calling for the flippening, guys, and that is not a good sign. Just like my friend was talking about Rai and saying that it's going to retire our bloodline, that is not a good sign. That's normally a stage of euphoria. Yes, Ethereum has made higher lows against Bitcoin. It's also making lower highs. So ultimately, we could end up to 0.38, the merge area. I don't think it's heading all the way back up here. Matter of fact, I don't think it's going to head and make all-time new highs on its Bitcoin pair. I would love it, but let's be realistic, guys. Come on, let's really be realistic, and let's put our thinking caps on. Yeah, in a moment of euphoria, people get very, very excited. Just like the Solana folks got very excited. Ethereum folks, unfortunately, are going to be in the same trap, and they're going to call for the flippening, and that 100% marks the top. And finally, my favorite chart of them all. This is actually my favorite chart. I love this chart so much. I really, really love this chart. I know a lot of folks don't understand this Bitcoin stuff. Like, what are you doing? What does this mean? What? I want to know about my USD pair. I get it, but I promise you, if you learn this chart, oh my, it's beautiful. Beautiful. All right, we're heading down. Yeah, alts are going to get a final flush out. Alts are heading down to here, and alts have been furiously bleeding against the king, and they've been bleeding against Ethereum. These things, you can only hold them for around 2-3 months. It's just trading, and there's a lot of rotation happening in the space. Honestly, you can't hold these things for you can't hold a lot of these stuff for longer than 6 months. And then it's just down only. So guys, when we really see the real capitulation, then we're going to see this happen. This is where the magic really happens. This is when you really change your life around. This period right over here. Now, the only reason why we don't have this period is what? Because of power. Don't fight the Fed. Simple as that. Do not fight the Fed. And you know what the whole of crypto have been doing? They've been fighting the Fed. In a period of high interest rates, you buy? What do you buy? We know this now. It's common sense now. Bitcoin and Ethereum. And if you're lucky, some of the top 10. In a period of low interest rates, you do not touch Bitcoin or ETH. You go for the more speculative coins, okay? That's why in the previous cycle, everything went up. Everything. You could throw your money on literally anything. And for 2 years, it's just up only. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're looking for this period, bang, and then it's life-changing gains, ladies and gentlemen. Hold your horses. Let's quickly end with some macro. The S&P 500, it's heading downwards, all right? And we also know that it's very closely correlated to Bitcoin. There's a lot of fear-mongering happening in the S&P 500. Our target has always been 8,000 points. This is the S&P 500 divided by the money supply. It looks picture perfect, okay? Let me get rid of everything. It looks picture perfect. Look right here. And look right here. Kind of scary, right? This was the .com era right over here in February 2000 period. And this, ladies and gentlemen, we still have some more room to grow. I got a fractal from here and I put it right over here. Simple as that. Look at these fractals. It looks identical. We believe here in altcoin era, the S&P 500 is going to continue to run up until 2025 and then further have another run up in 2026. In July 2026, that will mark the peak, and then we're going to have a bear market from then. Now, I don't know if we're going to have a brutal bear market like this, but I have been closely monitoring this. The good news is we still have 2 years left. 2 years left of the S&P 500 continuing. Now, if we correlate the two, the S&P 500 is very closely correlated to Bitcoin. We might not see a 4-year cycle. All right, we might peak in July 2026. That's it for now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying to the end, guys. And if you want some alpha, join our private members. Peace. This is a quick announcement. The bond market is not yielding. They're actually going up, guys. We have a Fed FOMC meeting on September the 17th. It was almost at like 80%. It's come down to 71%, and it looks like we might not see a cut. And remember, never ever fight the Fed.